Hello and welcome back to Bookmark Chronicles. Today I'm doing a book haul. So many of you know that I am doing the Read What You Own challenge, meaning that I'm supposed to read what's on my shelves and not buy any books. However, made an exception because my birthday obviously, but I also got a ton of stuff for both my birthday and Christmas, so this is a compilation of everything that I got. I'm gonna start off with the books that I got for myself. So here's the thing, right? I used to be the kind of person that would buy an entire series without reading the first book, and I very quickly learned that that is not a good idea. However, I did buy book 2 in a series, and partially it was a cover buy, but also it was on sale. So while I have not yet read the Gilded ones, I did buy Merciless ones. It was $8, so you know. And then for my birthday, I went to New York for a couple of days and I went to the Strand for the first time. So while I was there, I got Legends and Lattes, which every single person that I know that has read this book has loved it. I don't know what it's about, but that's beside the point. While I was there, I also got Like a Sister by Kelly Garrett, and it is signed by the author. So hopefully I enjoy this one. I have not yet read anything by Kelly Garrett, but I do want to read this and her Detective by Day series, I think it's called. The first one is Hollywood Homicide. I think I'm gonna like it, so I'm excited to read it. Next are gifts from friends. So this one is actually from my coworker. She went somewhere. I think she went to Uncle Bobby's for the first time, and so while she was there, she picked up a couple things for me. The first one is this book called Fever Dream. I had not heard of this beforehand, but it sounds like some really wild shit. Essentially, someone's going through something that sounds like a fever dream and she can't really tell if it's real or not. So it sounds interesting, but also she got me this cute bookmark, so I love it. Next, I have First Love Take 2 by Sajini Patel. This is the second book in the Trouble with Hating You series. This was gifted to me by Nat over at Nerdy Nat Reads. Nat, thank you. I'm so excited to read this. I think it's gonna be so good. I really love The Trouble with Hating You, and I like the setup for this story, so I'm really hoping that I enjoy this one as well. Next, Monet over at Life is Monet sent me Archer's Voice. I don't know much about this. I haven't read anything by this author yet, but I have seen this one making the rounds, and someone had directly recommended it to me. I can't remember who, I'm sorry. But as soon as they mentioned it, I put it on my wish list. It was probably Nicole, let's be honest. But I'm really excited to read this. So Monet said she's depending on me to read it and not let it sit on my shelves forever, so we're gonna try. Next, my girl Kendall sent me Sweet Hand, the first book in the Island Bites series. I read this last year on audio and I really enjoyed it. I disliked the love interest at first, but he ended up growing on me. I thought all the baking and everything was super cute. The conflict was somewhat resolved early, but like I said, he grew on me in the end, but the love interest really fucking pissed me off in the beginning. I'm really happy to have a physical copy of this. It's definitely one that I want to reread, and I want to read the second book since that came out last year. And then Rachel over at Reads with Rachel sent me Blackmail and Mavinka. This is the third book in the Tita Rosie's Kitchen Cozy Mystery series, which is the first cozy mystery series that I have actually enjoyed. I've already read the first and second book. My coworker is actually reading Homicide in Hollow right now. She also enjoyed Arsenic and Adobo, so I'm excited to have this one. I like the Buddy Read It with Robin again since we read the second book together, and I'm really excited to see what happens. Hopefully Lila gets her ass in therapy. That is my one wish for this fucking book, is that that girl goes to therapy. Speaking of Robin, I have quite a few things from her, both from Christmas and my birthday. And the first one is The Bone Shard Daughter. So I've heard a lot of people talk about this. I think, what, the first 2 books are out and the third one's coming out or something like that. Something to do with bone shard magic. It sounds interesting and I'm really hoping that I enjoy it. This is a 5-star prediction for me, so hopefully I'm right about that. Robin also got me volume 3 of Spy Family. I have not yet started the series, but I did watch the anime and I really enjoyed it, which made me want to pick up the manga, so I hope to start this one soon. I definitely think that I could get through these pretty quickly, so I definitely want to start them sometime this year. Robin also got me book 3 in the Kiss Quotient series, The Heart Principle. So I loved the Kiss Quotient. Did not love the Bride Test. However, I am still holding out hope that I'm going to like this one. A lot of people say that it feels less like a romance because it deals with some heavy topics, and I like that. So I'm thinking that I'm probably going to really enjoy this one, and I hope that I do. Robin also got me a cookbook that was on my wish list. I've had this one on my wish list for a really long time. There are some recipes in here that are Whole30 approved, which I had done a couple of times. I probably will never do it again. However, I get bored eating the same thing after more than a couple of days. So I'm always willing to try new things, and I'm really excited to start cooking some stuff in here. So my sister also sent me 4 books. No, I've only read one of these actually. Okay, so the first one is Around the Weird Girl. This is the memoir by Taraji P. Henson. I listened to this on audio because Taraji narrates it and I loved it. I don't know, I like learning about people that I like, I guess. She's a great actress. She has been through a lot and hearing her story was really interesting. Definitely recommend. So next, my sister got me Mirage. This has been on my wish list for quite some time and I don't really remember what it's about because it's been a while. And then I think there's a sequel that also came out and honestly, I haven't heard many people talk about either one. I'm interested to see how this goes. I really don't know what to expect. Now this next one I'm a little skeptical about because again, I forgot that I put this on my wish list. However, my sister got me White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson. Now, I've heard very mixed things about some of her most recent work, even though I really loved Monday's Not Coming and Grown, and I still want to read Allegedly. Heard mixed things about White Smoke, and I guess we'll just see how it goes. I'm still gonna read it for sure, but am I going to enjoy it? To be determined. And the last book that my sister got me was A Promised Land by Barack Obama. I really enjoyed Becoming by Michelle Obama, so I'm really interested to hear more about his story and his journey to presidency. At one point I had heard that this was, God, this is $45. That's fucking wild. Anyway, at one point I had heard that this was supposed to be like part 1 and that there's supposed to be a part 2 at some point. I don't know if that's accurate, but I am excited to see. I'll probably do a blended read of this or listen to the audio because this is long. Yeah, this is a 701 page book and I can barely get through a 700 page fantasy, so a nonfiction is probably gonna be quite a struggle for me. I think I'm gonna have to break this down into parts. Lastly, I have the books that my boyfriend got for me. We've worked out a system, right? Because like our first Christmas, he kind of just like found random things that he thought sounded good and got them, and I was like, no. So he has the wish list and he can get whatever he chooses off of the wish list, and that is the system, and that has been working very well, so that I no longer get book 5 in a series by accident anymore. So the ones that he sent me are Someone We Know by Charlotte Pena. I still have to read Stranger in the House, I think, but I loved The Couple Next Door. I thought it was so good and it was so messy and I loved it. So I'm really hoping that I just really like anything by Charlotte Pena because that first read was so good. Next, he got me 2 books to complete a trilogy. I now have both Thunderhead and The Toll, so I finally have the complete Arc of a Scythe series. I did do a series review of this, so I will have it linked to the cards and in the description. Why is there so much dust floating around all of a sudden? Anyway, Thunderhead was my favorite of this series because it was chaotic as fuck. Didn't love The Toll as much because I didn't really care for the ending and the whole romance that was happening, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. So didn't really care for that, but I still enjoyed the series overall, and I do still want to read the short story collection Gleanings that came out in November. And lastly, I have Bad Fat Black Girl. I do also have the audio of this, so I will definitely do a blended read. Really excited to read this, especially after reading Women, Race, and Class and Hood Feminism. So I'm really excited to see how all of these books compare and which ones I like the most. So those are all the books that I got for Christmas and my birthday. I think it's 20 in total, including the cookbook. And now I have to rearrange my shelves again. Plus, because I'm doing Read What You Own, my goal was to rearrange things so that books I have read are at the top and they're more visible so I don't forget about them. I didn't do that when I moved, so I have some books down here that I kind of forgot about. So we're gonna change that. But let me know if you have read any of these or if they are on your TBR. Otherwise, that's all I have for you today, and I'll see you in the next video.